All right, guys. So we're going to go over, the past couple months that we worked together. So we're going to start with both of your names, where you guys are from, how old you are.
Cool. My name's Alicia. I'm 35 and live in Richmond, California.
And I'm Kasondra and I'm 31.
All right.
Also,
All right, Alicia, so I'll start with you. So where were you before we started working together? Because we started working together first.
yeah, we've been working together for about a year now. And I think my starting weight when we first started was like 176. Honestly, I think I don't really remember, which is kind of lame, but pretty sure it was that. And tired and lazy.
All right. Yeah. Kasondra, what about you?
We started working together in January and I was at 176 at that point. And I honestly felt like shit. And I saw this one making so much progress with you that I decided to jump on board.
Awesome. All right. What did you guys both try before? Because I know we've talked about like diets in the past. So just dive into that a tiny bit.
Yeah. We have done a couple rounds of Whole30, which like is a great sort of like reset. But I always found, and I've done, I think probably like 5 different rounds of Whole30. And every time like I can lose about 10 pounds and I feel really good, but it's definitely not like a sustainable long-term kind of thing. So I just see like the weight come back and then like I get frustrated and annoyed. We've also
done, like I've done a couple like juice cleanses, like either 1 day to like 4-day ones before, which also sometimes feel like a nice like reset, but it's not like, it's not going to be like a long-term lifestyle kind of thing. I also had used Noom for almost a full year, about 2 years ago that I tried. And that system also really didn't work. And it wasn't great for my mental health either, just because whenever you log stuff, it's like, ooh, that's red food. And your brain just like is going to always associate that with being bad, which is like not, they tell you that's not the point, but they still do. So yeah.
All right. All right. So Alicia, we'll start with you. What was your goal when we first started working together? Like what, I know we had a kind of an idea in mind.
Yeah, I think like a number-wise goal, I wanted to hit 150. Just that seemed like a reachable goal, but at the same time, I couldn't believe that like I had to have such like, it seemed big at the time because that was almost 30 pounds, which felt like, how do I need to lose 30 pounds? Like that's crazy. I think in general, I just wanted to also feel like better about myself and like gain some confidence and like not be so tired all the time, which is where I was at in the beginning.
All right, Kasondra, what about you? What was your goal when you first started working with me?
My goal was to try to get down to like the low 160s or like mid 150s, kind of like in a fairly arbitrary number. But over, like I'm 8 years into teaching now, and it's been something I've noticed over those last 8 years of just like my lifestyle has changed so much with that job. And that like weight has been like very slowly adding up until I got to the point where I was, just felt really horrible. Like I was carrying around so much extra stuff and I no longer knew, like I had gone over the threshold of where I knew how to get myself back down to a weight where I just felt like I could actually like chase my students around on the playground anymore. And so that was kind of like my bigger motivating factor was like, I just want to feel like I can keep up with my students.
Yeah. That's awesome. So what made you guys both decide to invest in hiring a coach?
For me, like when I found your Instagram, I was like, this seems like legit. She looks awesome. She's gay. Like, let's go. And I think similar, like I just felt like I didn't know. I wanted to find something that I knew could like jumpstart, that I would feel confident like in being able to carry on long term and not just have it be like, oh, it's like a 6-week thing. You can lose like X amount of weight. Cause like you see that a lot, like especially on social media, like it's a huge like draw. And like I didn't see that anywhere. And so I was like, okay, that's different. And like, let me just, I've never tracked macros. I didn't really understand, like I had heard about it. So I just thought like I was coming off a really intense year personally, and I was just ready to sort of like have everything start brand new. So
and now
not do that.
Now you're like a pro at counting macros.
I mean, watch out. I might just.
You might, yeah. I mean, I gotta watch out for, you know, you might be the next coach. I mean, I don't know yet. What about you, Kasondra? What made you decide to invest in yourself?
So I think because I had like tried some things unsuccessfully before, I think I finally hit a point where I realized like my age and my career and my lifestyle, like I wasn't going to just automatically be able to get healthy again like I used to when I was in my like early 20s, mid 20s.
She didn't believe me that after 30 is a different story.
I didn't believe her.
Now she believes me.
It is true. Some things shift a little bit. You don't bounce back quite as quickly after that pint of ice cream. So I knew I needed to do, and like, I've just like seen so many people in my own personal life who you kind of like hit that spot. And especially like teachers, it happens a lot to teachers. Mm-hmm. Like when you hit your like mid 30s, late 30s, that like, if you haven't like, you know, been able to like, it's that much harder to then lose the weight that's been like slowly building for so long. And like, I know that like we want to have kids one day. And so it was really important to me to be like, well, I want to get a handle on like my own health and feel like I'm in a good place going into that, as opposed to like, you know, seeing so many women that then struggle with that later on. You know, and I think one of the big things was like, I got a chance to meet you in person, which made me feel a lot better. I got that was like huge, and like seeing like the progress that Alicia was making, and seeing that like you really could eat any foods. Like you know, you didn't like previously all the things I had tried really did still categorize foods. Mm-hmm. And I have so many like food insecurity things that anytime you're like trying to categorize foods, my brain automatically goes to like, wow, you can't eat that thing. Like that's a bad thing. Or like, if you decide you want to eat that like treat in the staff room, like, then you're just being a fatty about it. Or if I say like, no, thanks, I don't want that, then I'm saying that because I don't want to get fat. Like it's all of those own mental things you have to get over. And so I think one of the things I appreciated is that you're not categorizing foods. You're just getting a chance to see like, what is the composition of these foods so that I can pair things correctly throughout the day to hit my goals. And so for my own like mental health well-being as it relates to food, that felt like a lot better of a fit than anything else I'd ever tried before.
Yeah, and that's an awesome thing to talk about, because you know a lot of people see that they use different types of programs, and that it is something that's huge in those programs. So awesome to talk about. So best piece of advice for those listening, like what would you guys say if you're on like someone's on the fence about investing in a coach? What would you tell them?
I would say definitely do it. Just like, and then when you're in it, I've been working with Megan for the past year, and honestly, like I would say like the first half, like I was making progress, but I wasn't like, I hadn't connected all the pieces. So I would say also like, give yourself time. Like don't just think like, oh, cool, like I can do this for 3 months and then, okay, maybe some people can, but For me, it was like I needed the time to figure out like, here's like the nutrition side of things. And then I needed to pair it like with working out and like being consistent, which didn't really happen until about January till now. And that's when I've seen like my body like really changing into like what I want it to be. So I think like giving time and not expecting like the overnight like kind of results like is a big thing for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. What about you, Kasondra? What do you think?
I mean, I would say if you're thinking about getting a coach, that basically means you're ready to get a coach. Like if it's already on your mind, that's where you're at. So just do it.
Yeah.
And then I think similarly, like, I think one of the things that I appreciated about working with you is that you offered a lot of like grace in moments. Like I knew like, okay, if I'm doing this and I'm paying for this and I'm investing in this, like I have to do it. And even though I was trying to tell myself like, yeah, I really I do this. Like there were times where it just didn't happen. Like I just didn't log that day, or I didn't like go for a walk that day. And I think you did a really good job of like checking in and then like backing off when you needed to, and then pushing harder when you needed to. And that I think is something that was really beneficial for me. And also to like hear your feedback around like, it's okay. Like if there's a couple days that just like don't go right, like things come up or, you know, it's life, that's okay. Cause we're looking at this as like a lifelong shift and not like what you said, like a short little stint to just lose the weight. Like the goal isn't just lose the weight. It's like learn these things that you're going to use for the rest of your life to like feel the way that you want to feel. And I think for me, that's something that you're never going to get from like an app or like an online program or whatever. It's not the same as like having someone who like takes the time to really get to know you and like adjust things as you need. So for me, like that's the investment right there.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. That was all the questions I have for you guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.